It's time for brunch on the hill in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Conference USA football, Western Kentucky, and FAU coming up next on Stadium. The Hilltopper Walk on Senior Day at Western Kentucky in Bowling Green, Kentucky. All coaches want to be able to say at this time of the season with 2 weeks left in conference play, we control our own destiny. And that's what Western Kentucky has put themselves in that position to be able to do. There is a path for Western Kentucky to host the Conference USA Championship game. Get into that later on. A win today for Western Kentucky, coupled with a loss by Marshall later today, would give the Hilltoppers the East Division title. Later today, a big one out west between UTSA and UAB. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, high atop Houchin-Smith Stadium at Western Kentucky. Noah Kozlov alongside the Arena Football League Hall of Famer Sid Bonner. And this offense last year, fair to say, anemic for the Hilltoppers. So Tyson Helton said, I need a change. Well, he made it a religious experience, got baptized, went to Houston Baptist, and got everybody.
Got everybody. Look for guys, right? He wanted to implement some air raid facets to this offense and really wanted to get things moving. Came across Zach Kitley, and it is Hilltopper history from there. These guys have been dynamic on the offensive side. He couldn't be more pleased with how things are working out right now.
And they're a whole lot of fun to watch, and that's because, well, a large
standing. I mean, the numbers are arena football-esque. You see the 42 touchdown passes. That's mind-boggling. He is in such control of what he does when you watch him out there. Never in a panic mode, always under control. This guy is fun to watch.
He is, and he's got his favorite weapon from Houston Baptist in Jarrett Stearns.
And another dynamic player that works on his crafts. I think the biggest compliment any coach could give a player is you continue to work on your craft, and that's what Coach Helton says about him. He continues to sharpen his iron.
All right, so for FAU on the other side, with Willie Taggart, who was a record-setting quarterback himself here at Western Kentucky when they were a D1 AA school. He's got a transfer quarterback into Cozy Perry.
Yeah, tremendous experience, and this guy can get it done a bunch of different ways. I think the best thing that he can bring to this team is playing fast, and when it gets unscripted, he gets out of the pocket, he keeps plays alive, and can throw the deep ball extremely well. He's got to look to make those big plays down the field to give FAU a chance.
He hasn't thrown a pick in his last 4 games. Western Kentucky has picked it off 10 times in their last 2 games. Big Red's ready for the air raid next on Stadium. This is football weather. 50 degrees here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Feels a little bit chillier up here in the booth.
Is it 50?
Only one of us has a beanie on, and that's the former NFL player. Tyson Helton in his 3rd season at the helm of Western Kentucky, the 2019 Conference USA Coach of the Year. First year 3 wins, and look at this. Sitting at 6-4 this year, 5-1, and they've won 5 straight. Willie Taggart is back in Bowling Green as an opposing coach for the first time in his career. He was the head coach here from 2010 through 2012, taking the school from D1 AA into Division I. And he had a record-setting historic career as the quarterback here at Western Kentucky. So the ties go deep as you see the number 1 hanging outside Houchin-Smith Stadium.
I mean, you don't think he wants to win this game? He wants to win this game as bad as anything. Gets back in this building. He's on the side that he coached and played on. So he's very comfortable on that sideline.
Willie Taggart, age 45, his 2nd year here at FAU, has had a long history in college football. And it all got started here at Western Kentucky, where he set 11 records, including 47 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback. Western Kentucky will kick off.
And this time of year, you couldn't ask for better weather.
Kick goes just about to the goal line and bringing it out across to the about 30-yard line. Jaquan Burton on the kick return. Cozy Perry, the quarterback, with 21 total touchdowns in 10 games, and see what he did at the University of Miami.
But he's an experienced guy, Noah. He understands the game, understands what they're trying to do, and I think you're going to see a little quicker pace offense from FAU this weekend. They're going to try to get out, let these guys go, and let it loose.
That's the idea for N'Kosi Perry, just to play with tempo. Willie Taggart wants to shorten up the terminology, get more plays, let them play off instincts. And a quick handoff to Johnny Ford. And Johnny Ford coming off last week where he carried the ball 19 times for 101 yards and a touchdown in a 30-16 loss to ODU, and here they are. He picked up 2 yards on first down and a quick snap on second down, and it is right back to Ford. And falls forward. And
they're on schedule, Noah, right? The first down play, he should have lost 4 yards in the backfield. He's able to gain 2 because of his quickness and athleticism.
On 3rd and 5, that's plenty for the first down, a team that converts on 46%. And LeJontay Wester has his first reception.
And you see how quick they're going here. You get the bubble screen, you've run a couple zone read, zone, and then you pop it outside for the one-on-one matchup. Great blocking in front of LeJontay Wester.
Kelvin Dean Jr. is in the backfield. And a quick hit out to the left side, Brandon Robinson on the reception. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5, and this FAU offense is moving across midfield for the first time on the opening drive. The hand is to Dean Jr., and he is stopped short of that first down, and see what Willie Taggart decides to do here.
That was a phenomenal tackle from the linebacker spilling up, Jaden Hunter. You need an accurate throw on that one. He threw that one at his feet. He got to catch the ball, but still, you need an accurate throw on these bubble screens. Keep the players moving and running. You have to be accurate on those throws.
Decides to throw it on 3rd down, and now we'll decide to bring on the punting unit.
And listen, that's the right call, Noah. To throw it, you've got an advantage outside. You just need an accurate throw so the guy can move and go get the first down.
Jarrett Stearns is deep for Western Kentucky. Matt Hayball, the redshirt sophomore, is back at about his own 39 to punt it away. Western Kentucky almost got a piece of it, and Stearns will call for the fair catch. So that's the pace that FAU wanted to play on offense and try to get things moving.
Well, I also feel like they had plays, right? That last throw, if you just get an accurate throw, your receiver has a chance to make some plays, and goodness gracious, look at these numbers.
Immediate impact is right. It's been a religious experience for everyone here in Bowling Green, with Bailey Zappi coming over from Houston Baptist. Zappi leads the nation with about 420 yards per game in the air, 42 touchdowns. He's thrown just 7 picks. It's one thing to throw for a whole bunch of yards, said, and the completion percentage at 71% is 8th best.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, he's in top 5 in every category passing. I mean, it's ridiculous the season he's putting together.
Stearns is the one moving, and we've got a flag and a false start.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So last week on the opening drive in the Western Kentucky win over Rice, 42-21, an interception. They've thrown 3 picks on their opening drives this season. They've punted 3 times, one resulting in a punt return touchdown against Michigan State. And they have 2 touchdowns, so it's not a team that just comes out and here we go, let's score.
but they continue to adjust. And there you get the false start on Cole Spencer, left tackle.
He'll sling it out to the near side. The catch is made by Dawood Davis.
I mean, look at the ease he makes that throw with. Ball's in the middle of the field, and he just throws it 7-yard outside without really even stepping into it. Just risks it out there. He's got unbelievable skill set with his arm.
So a gain of 9 there. So with that penalty, it brings up 2nd and 6. Cofield in the backfield, looks right, throws left, and Jarris Stearns breaks 1 tackle. Jarris Stearns across the 30, across the 40.
And you're going to see Stearns start out and then come back underneath on the screen. And we talked about accurate throws, putting it on the spot where your guy can run after the catch.
Here he goes, throwing to that spot out near the 30-yard line. It's Jarris Stearns again. 113 receptions this season to lead the country by a mile. The Hilltoppers are moving. Another completion. Dawood Davis out to about the 10.
Look at this catch in between 2 defenders with contact. I mean, that is fantastic. He runs the middle of the field about as well as anybody I've seen in a long time. Has the ability to feel linebackers, read, wrap if he needs to, get around them. He is a great slot receiver.
With 5 wide. Inside the red zone, ball at the 12. Throw it out to the left side. The pass is caught and still moving, reaching for the end zone. Malachi Corley is just short. As that ball will be spotted at the 1.
They're gonna probably tell him not to reach the ball out here. But you see him right here. He steps out of bounds right there. Oh, no, he doesn't step out of bounds. Did the ball hit the pylon? If the ball hits a pylon here, this could be a touch. Ooh, just on, that's the right side. So that's a good mark right there. Ball's on the left of that pylon. Woo.
This FAU defense said the best red zone defense in Conference USA, 4th best in the country, but going up against one of the top red zone offenses in the country. A little flip. And into the end zone again is Jarris Stearns. The kid can do it all, and Western Kentucky is on the board first. There's a flag in the end zone.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 8. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff as number 8's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
An unsportsmanlike conduct call on Jarris Stearns. That'll be 15 yards on the kick. Officials saw something that I didn't.
He ran up in the tunnel and pointed up in the air. Like what? Taking the fun out of this thing early.
Braden Narveson on for the extra point. He is perfect in his career, and he remains.
You know, I don't want to have an easy schedule in the early part of the season, and now you're getting into tough conference play. So the name of the game is trying to make a run and win your conference, and that's the most important thing for us. I think our team is very realistic about where our strengths are and where our weaknesses are. And if we're going to go make a conference run, what we have to do to all the right things to make that happen.
Instead of a play or two here and there against some of those big boys. And it's a very different looking season for Western Kentucky. But in the end, here they are with an opportunity to win the East.
Little things, right? You give up a punt return for a touchdown at Michigan State. You fall down early to them, and then you pretty much dominate them with the offense the rest of the game. And the UTSA game they lost as well in conference play, but that was down to the wire, came down to the last drive.
The Indiana game as well. A late penalty on a field goal could have turned that one. That kick will scoot out of bounds before going into the end zone. And that ball was kicked from the 20 because of the unsportsmanlike penalty to begin with. So favorable field position.
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. The ball will be placed on the 50-yard line, first down.
So just like that, Willie Taggart and Dakosi Perry with the ball on the 50 for their second drive.
Great field position. Well, little things, right? You get a penalty, help a team out. It's early in the game, you're feeling each other out, but you don't want to help a team, especially a team that's over the last 9 games is 1-8 on the road. Don't give them any life.
And see this tempo offense again from FAU. Handoff is to Johnny Ford, and Johnny Ford has nowhere to go, and there's a penalty and could be looking at something late after the whistle. Antoine Kincaid was there.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 23. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Good call.
Will Ignat.
Yeah, right there, you see it. That's a good call.
So will Ignat get that penalty?
And then hobbled off. He's a little bit banged up, but there was a little bit of hold there on the edge on D'Angelo Malone. It wasn't called.
FAU 5-5 on the season, 3-3. They've lost 2 straight. Western Kentucky has won 5 in a row, and up ahead for maybe a yard is Johnny Ford. They transfer from USF.
He's a dynamic back that really quick feet, can make you miss in a phone booth.
We approach 10 minutes here in the first quarter. Western Kentucky scored on the opening drive. Bailey Zappi went 6 for 6, and FAU's going backwards. And a great job just herding to the ball, Beanie Bishop.
Beanie Bishop getting downhill in a hurry. You see that, the stretch zone outside play where guys are toss blocking, however you want to call it. Lineman trying to run outside, but great job of not getting out leveraged. And Beanie Bishop coming from his safety spot to make the play.
So it's a 3rd and 18. Here comes the pressure, a flag intended for James Charles.
Trying to set up the screen, and it was mistimed.
Offside, defense number 28 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
It's already the 4th penalty.
Yeah, right there, he's offsides, can't get back, but got to be better in this situation. You can't give extra downs. It's still 3rd and 13, but
Perry pulls it back, throws to the far side just in front of the sticks. That's not going to be enough for the first down.
nope. He had his curl route out there as
Brandon
well.
Robinson was there, but it's going to be short of that first down marker.
He had his curl route on the route on that side as well as he's rolling right. The curl's wide open in the
Timeout,
middle of the
Kentucky,
field.
they're first.
And Western Kentucky will call. Back here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, a 7-0 Hilltoppers lead with 8:56 to go in the first quarter. Noah Kozlov said Bonner, our stadium crew, as FAU lines up to go for it from the Western Kentucky 26-yard line on 4th and 1. James Charles in the backfield. FAU 5 for 16 on 4th down this season.
Well, you've got numbers. You just need hat on a hat for a yard.
And the handoff is to Charles. He goes right side, and he has enough for that first down.
A.J. Breathwaite was there about a step too late filling that gap, but man, did he come in there with some thunder.
And Perry going up top, lobs it, and that's an easy call for the officials. Khalif Hollisey was holding on to John Mitchell like you wanted to take him to the homecoming dance tonight here in Bowling Green.
Well, he's trying to say John Mitchell pulled himself by him by grabbing his pads.
Pass interference, defense number 12. The ball be placed in the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
And Hollisey doesn't, you know, listen, if you're going to get beat, don't give up a touchdown, right? And you see there's a stumbling, and he may have a hold of that left arm or that right arm. And when I say may, that means he did.
So that's the 5th penalty for 46 yards already. It's a team that averages about 7 penalties per game for 54 yards.
And the discipline piece, when you want to be a champion, you're trying to make a championship run, you have to be disciplined.
LeJontay Wester on the reception. And Wester will get inside the 15-yard line.
I'd snap it right now and go right back to the same side. You got 2. Now they adjust and widen the box, and now you have numbers inside.
2nd and 4 from the 12. Hand off to Charles. Charles gets ahead for 2 to bring up a 3rd and short.
And the Owls need that offensive line to just stay attached a little bit longer. They've got numbers. They just need to stay on their blocks and hold their blocks a half a second longer so that their guys can get to that next level.
All right, 1 for 3 on 3rd down so far today. FAU's been talking about trying to finish drives all week long, and that's
Touchdown.
exactly what they do.
Did you mark him out? Because that was a great effort.
Ooh, Brandon Robinson just short. Looked like he reached that arm across. Guess not. On 1st and goal.
They're going to review it.
And Perry's going to keep that one himself.
The previous play is under
So now they're going to review the previous play, Brandon Robinson.
Well, we can't tell if where his foot is, but we know the ball hits the pylon.
All right, so he's out of bounds there.
Yeah,
Okay.
his foot's out of bounds.
Yep.
That's a great call. And that's why those guys do it. And I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would be terrible at it.
I never even considered it.
I get too emotional. Great effort, though. Look at that extension. Full control of the ball. Brandon Robinson with the extension. And that's what we're talking about with Florida Atlantic. They have so many athletes, and they're able to move up and down the field. You got to just let these guys play.
Field is confirmed. The runner did step out of bounds.
Last week, Robinson had a 59-yard touchdown in the 3rd quarter that had FAU down 14-10 to Old Dominion. That has been the conversation all week, and Willie Taggart spent a lot of time talking to us about it this week. Just finishing drives, playing with that consistent tempo, and not slowing anything down once they get into the red zone.
Yeah, they've done a nice job there. It's Kelvin Dean checks into the backfield. They've done a nice job of getting out and moving the ball. And now they've got to finish it off.
So from the 3 on 1st and goal. Perry into the end zone, and it's too high for his intended receiver.
I'm always up for throwing the flat. It looks like he's covered sometimes, but if a guy is trailing your back in the flat on that play, put it out to the edge of his hands, and that way he stays on the move and he can score. Throwing back across the middle is extremely dangerous, especially when you don't have a guy wide open.
He's looking for Brandon Robinson again. Let's make it 2nd and goal from the 3. Man in motion, and the handoff is to LeJontay Western. There is Beanie Bishop again, right there in the backfield.
I tell you what, when he's in the nickel and you've got him and Brathwaite and Kincaid, I mean, those are three of the best safeties / DBs you'll find. I mean, it's an experienced group.
Take a look
they make a ton of plays.
And take a look at Hines Ward, who's the wide receivers coach, promoted this week. Hired as a special assistant to Willie Taggart. Try to jumpstart this offense. Now 3rd and 9 after the loss of 6. Perry dropped it.
Wow.
So FAU went from almost a touchdown to just going back. And it looked like Perry just dropped the snap.
Well, they're sitting there trying to figure out if we're blitzing off the edge here or not, right? And it's taken so long. And a really good job by Will Ignat to just continue to mess with him. And now you're trying to play too fast. You lose concentration for a brief moment. Ball's on the turf and no 6 points. And that right there is what Coach Taggart does not want. He wants to put touchdowns up. You can't beat this team with threes.
A 35-yard field goal attempt is good to make it a 7-3 Western Kentucky game. More college football next here on Stadium. Big game in the race to the Conference USA Championship game. Marshall's in Charlotte to take on the 49ers. Thundering Herd need a win to keep their hopes alive. Kickoff 3:30 Eastern right here on Stadium. Josh Chappelle, Patrick Murray on the call. So if Western Kentucky wins and Marshall loses, then Western Kentucky would win the East. Next week, a big one, Western Kentucky and Marshall.
Yeah, and I'll be on that call next week, which will be awesome. But today, Marshall's got its hand full with Charlotte. They're 4-1 at home. They play extremely well at home, led by Chris Reynolds.
A little breezy down there. It's Aaron Sherrieri, the handling kickoffs. With Beanie Bishop and Jakari Moses back deep. Across the 25, across the 30, across the 40. There goes Jakari Moses out near midfield.
This is just great effort. Great effort, and look at all the black shirts that are going to go and get attached. You see nice double teams up top, kick out, and Mosby's out the door. If not for great tackle out in open space, he's off to the races. Zion Gilbert bringing him down.
So Bailey Zappi, after going 6 for 6, 92 yards and a little flip touchdown on the opening drive, going back to work here with brilliant field position from midfield. Zappi on the zip and a broken tackle, Dawood Davis. And Dawood Davis has about 15 on first down.
It's almost unfair if you go empty. He can tell where his matchups are. He motion Stearns away, and they adjust. Leave the corner one-on-one on the outside. And it's just stealing, right? You get that nice little 8-yard gain, 10-yard gain on first down. I mean, you're ahead of the sticks.
Number 20 is Noah Whittington in the backfield. They'll hand it to him, and Whittington skirts across the 30. 5'10" freshman. Got a flag on the play.
And the hold should have come in right away, but the coaching staff had to remind the official how to make the call. And they're going to get the receiver on the left side, or right side of the field.
Holding. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
You can see it. He's just lined up too wide for what he wants to do, and there's a good job knifing by the defender to go inside of him, and he has to grab and hold.
So already 6 penalties. For a team that averages just about 7 per game. All coming here in the first quarter, and we're just under 5 minutes to go. Three out to the left, one on the near side.
Sitting off in the cover 2. They're spinning the safety down, one high safety. There it is in the middle.
And Zappi finds the hole to Mitchell Tinsley.
You got to do a better job of disguising that. When you start in cover 2 and then you run a safety down, you leave that middle of the field open. He seems to just have a knack of finding it and understanding his information.
21 yards on that completion, and then the bear hug on the near side.
It's almost Christmas. He was just saying hi. Jaden Williams.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And they just come at you so fast with so many different angles and routes. He's just taking a shot on the go here. And defender doesn't know where the ball is and not making any effort to play through the ball. And to his credit, he's not giving up freebies, right? You don't want to give up freebies, but you got to find the ball, try to make a play on it.
Romain Munyon, Smoke Munyon, is not in the game for FAU. One of their top-notch cornerbacks. He's been in concussion protocol, did not make the trip. Zappi stays in the pocket, slings it over the middle for another touchdown. Wow. Mitchell Tinsley on the receiving end.
Listen, this is how good this dude is. And when I say dude, I mean the dude Bailey Zappi, right? He wants to throw the corner out to Stearns on the right side of the field. Feels some pressure around in the pocket, slides around, and when you see this delivery, drops it down to about 3/4, it's special.
He is 9 for 9 for 137 and 2 touchdowns. And Western Kentucky has put together back-to-back scoring drives to open the game.
Yeah, hold it right here, guys. We're going to get Stearns coming to the back of the end zone on this side. That's where he wants to go, the smash combo. But he ends up going back to the backside of the field. Watch him slide in the pocket, move his feet, and watch he uncover on the backside, and he just sidearm slings it. Look at this accuracy right here, man. Woo! I mean, watch the accuracy. Just drops it down a little bit, and look what his ball placement is. Oh, thank you very much. I mean, come on.
Mitchell Tinsley's 9th touchdown of the season. Last week he had the big day, 10 catches, 198 and 2 touchdowns. And Bailey Zappi doing it once again with 30-year-old offensive coordinator Zach Kitley, who's towering over Patrick Mahomes. He was a grad assistant with Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech. He was an assistant quarterback coach for Patrick Mahomes. So he spent 3 years there down in Lubbock, then went to Houston Baptist and had Zappi and the Stearns brothers. And there is Zach Kitley off that air raid tree.
Yeah, and his dad was a track coach, right? Like, so been around athletics his whole life, but at 6'7", he looks like he's jumping to high five everybody. He is a tall dude, man.
And here is that Houston Baptist Husky transfer portal. And Zach Kitley with Zappi and the Stearns brothers and Ben Ratzliff. Last year, they combined for 89 receptions. Both Stearns and Ratzliff, 63% of the total at Houston Baptist. 12 touchdowns, 1,265 yards, and they decided to enjoy themselves here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They're enjoying a 14-3 lead here. The handoff is to Johnny Ford, who skips across the 25, maybe a yard, maybe 2. So FAU had their opportunity, said, on their previous drive, 1st and 3, and then they just went backwards and had to settle for 3.
Well, you've got to make the scheduled play, right? You've got to make the play you're supposed to make. And that means hitting the guy in the flat if he's on the 3-yard line and has a chance to outrun a guy.
Out to the far side, catch is made by Jaquan Burton. And Burton is just across the 35, enough to move the chains.
And I like the aggressiveness coming up by Halasi, but you got to make sure you get your guy on the ground. Don't give up extra yards after.
This time to the near side. Catch is made by Brandon Robinson. That's his 4th of the day. Getting it off quick, and that one is read nicely by Western Kentucky. Omari Alexander was the first one there. He was all over LaJonte Wester.
And he took a little bit of a tough angle, inside angle to get there, but has enough speed to break back outside and make the tackle. And so those are the plays that when you get in a nice little rhythm, those are the plays you can't have, those setbacks and losses.
So from the 44 on 3rd and 2, Perry going up top looking for Robinson, and those two cannot connect.
I have a quarterback that has great feet and can run. I'm gonna do a little zone read option, let him run the ball. What I'm not doing is running fade route, right? That's like a last option. It's not a last option. You can run slants. I like slants. I like anything better than just throwing a fade.
So Matt Hayball is back to punt. Jarrett Stearns is standing at his own 19, ready to receive. Line drive punt. Bounces right to Stearns. And he'll be down at about the 21-yard line. So this 5-game winning streak for Western Kentucky. We're going to focus on the offense, but the defense has been outstanding as well. They just score in bunches, said. They do it week after week. Look at that, a 27-0 run after trailing 12-7 against FIU. 24 unanswered against Charlotte. Just give them a window, and they're not going to crack it just a little bit to get a little breeze in. They're going to lift it all the way up. They scored the first 28 in their most recent victory against Rice. Zappi pulls it back, and that's his first incompletion of the day. But we do have a flag.
It's going to be the area of holding, it looks like, on the interior line.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's tough on those offensive linemen. When you have those RPOs and you really ride that ball in there a long time, and they're driving guys, right? You get a couple yards downfield, they'll give you a yard, but if you get a little bit further than that, they're not going to allow that to happen. Very tough for the offensive line to know when that ball is going to be handed off or thrown.
All right, so scratch the incompletion for Zappi, but it's the 7th penalty of the first quarter for Western Kentucky. Just gives them more of an opportunity to put up more yards now on 1st and 15. From their own 16, there's Stearns across the 20. Jarrett Stearns out to about the 35-yard line. He's already second now in Conference USA history for single-season receptions with 115. The record is 136. Trent Taylor, Louisiana Tech in 2016. So it's not out of the question, going up top, and he's unable to get Stearns this time.
Oh, he had him. He had him on the wheel route. Had the post-wheel combo. It developed a little bit later, but he had him wide open.
So after 10 straight completions, that's the first incompletion now. 156 yards in the first quarter. He throws for 420 a game, best in the country.
That's pretty good, right?
I'd say. He's got 3 touchdowns, 3 or more touchdowns every single game. He's got all sorts of time here over the middle, another incompletion.
And that's where he's trying to tell his receiver with that throw, Malachi Corley, not to go towards the safety. If the middle's closed with one high safety, keep working the seam. I'm trying to put the ball on the seam. It's got to stay with a little more width. Don't run into coverage.
This offensive line, Pro Football Focus has them as the #1 pass blocking line in the country. And really, they've got a grade of 90.4. And it's the highest of any team in the last 3 years. And you saw it there. He had all sorts of time in the backfield.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's certainly right. This offensive line's been great over the past few years under Tyson Helton.
Wow.
Wow, right.
I mean,
only spot Mitchell Tinsley could get that football.
I mean, listen. Watch the 3-step and a decisive rip. I mean, he steps in and rips it. Look at that ball placement. Come on, man. That is 1,000,000% Sunday stuff right there. Going in a quads right set here. All 4 receivers out here to the right.
Stearns dancing around in the backfield from their own 49.
Oh my God.
You're serious?
I mean,
Mitchell Tinsley again.
You can only laugh because it's ridiculous. He's actually covered. He's being held. And there's no flag, but he still
covered.
Makes a catch.
They're dancing.
I mean,
at most schools, someone would come in and say, "Hey, we need a little separation between you two.
Man.
A little too close."
Yeah, I coach at a Catholic school. That's not happening at the Catholic school. They're not getting that close.
Tinsley's fourth reception for 63 yards. Make that 68 yards. And Bailey Zappi is doing everything he wants. This time the handoff to Noah Whittington. Watch this catch again.
I mean, he's literally being mugged. Mitchell Tinsley, and
the concentration, let alone the physical ability.
We talk about how great Stearns has been, but you got Tinsley with over 50 catches, Corley with over 50 catches. I mean, this is a special group.
It has been a special first quarter for this Western Kentucky offense. A whistle.
That's the end of the first quarter.
I'll show you why he's smiling. Look at this, everything going right with Big Red looking on. That's a field goal for free chicken for a year. Oh, yeah.
Dude, if I'm a college student, you think I'm not going to be pumped? They might have to get me off the field because I'm doing laps, victory laps, everything.
I hope he's got plenty more sweatpants, too. Free chicken for a year.
We got to be elastic bands in them.
Zappi seems like he's got an elastic arm. Gets it out to Ben Ratzleff, and see what Zappi did in that first quarter with 195 yards, open 10 for 10. Moved it all over the place, and that's despite the penalty issues that Western Kentucky faced, with 7 of them in that first quarter.
Yeah, just uncharacteristic play, but you know, the thing is, they've just continued to be consistent offensively. They continue to do the little things and convert.
Makes the easy pass this time. And out across the 5 is Kai Robichaux.
And Eddie Williams has to do a better job of breaking down in space to make a tackle. Robichaux does a nice job of really just giving him the okie doke to the sideline and cuts it back in. And there you get a look at Bailey's intellect, right? He wants to throw down ball down the field. He wants a touchdown. But hey, where's my check down? I'm going to take my check down, and he's going to run it down inside the 5-yard line for me.
Getting in the end zone at an over 90% clip from the red zone. Quick pass and into the end zone yet again. Joey Beljean. So Belgian's 4th touchdown of the season and the 3rd passing touchdown today for Bailey Zappi. So give him 45 on the year to lead the country.
I mean, this is so awesome. It's very reminiscent of what the Chiefs run with Kelsey at the tight end spot. You kind of roll out, you kind of have him slip down the line, and the quarterback has the opportunity to read it out. And then usually it's a flip, but he makes a nice little throw. Watch in motion. He's lined up on the backside. Here he comes down the line, and it's just a simple little throw. Good cave down by the right tackle. Does a good job of clearing a path and making a wall down on that right side.
And everything in the red zone just happens so much faster for a defense. So there's just so much, far fewer time, less time, I should say, to react.
Yeah, that's a great job. And usually, they're all trying to pin their ears back from the 3, trying to get in that backfield, trying to penetrate.
So Zappi himself, 45 touchdown throws on the season. Florida Atlantic has 36 total touchdowns.
I mean, he has to be in the conversation, man, for the Heisman. It's not the, it's not the Power 5 Heisman, it's the Heisman, right? He's got to be in the conversation. The numbers are ridiculous. This team is trending and ascending. I mean, what he's doing is not short of miraculous. It's incredible what he's doing.
Kicking it deep to Jaquan Burton across the 15, and then he is stood up. And we got some little extra going on around the 10.
Talking about Heisman just coming in today, look at the numbers. Over 400 yards a game. Now he's up to 45 touchdown passes. I mean, the numbers are off the charts. You have to give this kid some respect. And then, 214.
And that's a good day.
Yeah, a good day.
Right, for 214 yards itself is almost like an average day in college football.
We're not even a third of the way through yet. I mean, come on, man. Special player, and listening to the coaches talk about him, they preach he is a player on the field, right? He understands so much. He wants to be involved in game planning. He is so committed to what they're trying to do, and it shows week in and week out.
But another whistle. Now the record is 60.
False start. Offense,
This
number
time it's on
73.
FAU.
5-yard penalty, remains first down.
73 is Alex Atkavage, who's starting at right tackle in place of Chaz Neal. The record is 60. Joe Burrow did that a few years ago at LSU. Right now with 45 touchdown passes for Bailey Zappi. The reception is made here on the near side, LeJontay Wester. But now what do you do, FAU? Since the defense has been struggling, to say the least here, got to be able to put points on the board somehow.
Well, they just need to find something that works for them. And to me, what's worked for them over the last few weeks is putting the ball in Johnny Ford's hand.
And going up top, a tip. And good coverage by A.J. Brathwaite, who is there defending John Mitchell, the tight end.
As good as Nkosi is, he's has a tendency right here, and you see it, of really locking in on one guy and staring at him. And early on that down, you had Johnny Ford down on the swing route. And listen, he can make a guy miss, so you don't need a blocker for him. If you get the ball to him in space, especially on second down, he could probably get you a few more yards and get you closer.
FAU 2 for 6 on third down today, facing a significant 3rd and 10, and they will convert
Great blitz
on
pickup.
3rd down, I'd say. Everything working there. Jaquan Burton there on the reception.
Nice curl route run outside, but a great blitz pickup by the backs.
Here we go, quickly back up to the line. Perry pulls it back, going over the middle, and he's got a man wide open. James Charles out of the backfield. And just like that, FAU is there. Now back in the red zone.
This is a great play call here. They start him on a wheel. They run the tight end across the safety's face to grab his attention. And they run the wing back up through the seam. And it's wide open.
And A.J. Brathwaite is down, and check on his condition when we come back. This is Big Red country. Got a birthday coming up. Big Red's gonna be 42 on December 1st. Can't imagine what Big Red would want for its birthday.
Trust fall didn't work.
last time Big Red does that. Up here on the hill in Western Kentucky. So the ball's on the 15-yard line. A.J. Brathwaite was able to walk off on his own. Last time FAU was in the red zone, came away with a field goal. This time looking for the touchdown, and that's oh, he dropped it. Wow, Brandon Robinson had the football. Now there's a flag. Although he doesn't seem to be up in arms about it, but it looked like Robinson had that football.
When you're being tackled, even in the end zone, especially
Pass interference. Offense number 85. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Be pass interference on
John Mitchell on the other side.
John Mitchell, yeah.
So the point is mute, but when you have to get up with the ball, right? If you're in contact, it's continuous play. That's why that was, call the incomplete pass. He didn't get up with the ball. Point is mute because Mitchell decided to strong arm somebody on the defense.
So kick him back to the 35-yard line. And it changes the offensive game plan here to the near side. Wester just gets a couple. Let's take a look at that penalty again.
They got him right there inside.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Dragged Beanie Bishop all the way down, holding on to those pads.
But he didn't know if they were throwing the bubble screen behind him, so he had no choice.
Perry uses his legs for the first time this afternoon out to the 25.
And I think this is what he needs more of, right? You need more out of him. He's a guy that can run. You need to see some of that zone read. Force D'Angelo Malone, Juwan Jones, and those ends to be disciplined in what they're trying to do on the defensive side.
3rd and 16 now. Ball is on the 26. To the near side, the pass is caught Jaquan Burton. And Perry's looking over to the sideline to see kick or go, and Willie Taggart's gonna go for it here on 4th and 5. The Owls need it, and the Owls won't get it.
That just takes so long.
Davion Williams said was all over it.
Listen, if you're throwing the slant route, I've always been taught as a quarterback, when your guy cuts, the ball needs to be on him. And look how many steps inside he's running before the ball, and then it's a little behind him. So timing's off. If you're throwing that outside slant, it's got to be out of your hand. As soon as you catch it, you got to rip it. You got to let it go. That ball is late. Turnover on downs.
So a big stand for the Western Kentucky defense, who over the past 5 games, it hasn't just been the offense. Defense has held opponents to just under 19 points per game. So you hand things back over to the offense. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
You watch Zappe changing plays, moving some things around.
And this one off to Noah Whittington. And he got caught by the turf monster. And now a late flag. Been 10 penalties so far in the game, 7 for Western Kentucky coming in that first quarter.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 29. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's number 29's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Correll Smith. And listen, you can be frustrated all you want, right? You still got to play the game with integrity and the way you should play the game. Nope. Too much in today's game, right? People are taking things personal. It's a game out there. You can't go out and let your feelings get.
Yeah, you're right. Can't let those feelings get in the way of doing your job. And that's what happened there to Correll Smith. A broken tackle and skipping ahead for that first down, Dawood Davis. Here's that penalty again, Sid.
Let's check this guy right here. That's where it's going to be. Come on, man. Like, there's no place for it.
Just didn't need to be there.
No. Well, there's no place for it on any level of football. Junior midget, pee-wees. I don't care. Come on.
Got a man down here on the near sideline for FAU, and we will Antarius Moultrie is the man down, the redshirt freshman.
He's
down at the 50, and
he's had a nice season for himself. Coming off an 8-tackle game a week ago.
comes limping off here to the sideline. Training staff will check him out. Mike Stoops leading this FAU defense in his first year. Longtime head coach at Arizona. And he was at Oklahoma as defensive coordinator a few times. It's where the familiarity comes from Zach Kitley on one side when he was at Texas Tech, Mike Stoops on the other side at Oklahoma. Some Big 12 familiarity. See what they like to do defensively.
Yeah, he's a very experienced defense coordinator, knows exactly what he's facing here, but they just execute on such a high level, it's hard to stop him.
Breaking tackles again. That's Dalvin Smith, his second reception of the day. And the Hilltoppers just keep moving the chains here.
They just keep running guys at you too, right? There's not one of these skill guys that doesn't scare you.
Zappe hands it off to Cofield, and he is brought down immediately. Big man in the middle, and there is Mike Stoops.
Carius Hawthorne on that tackle there. Stoops is getting the guys up front working.
He's won 2 national championships, one at Oklahoma, one at Alabama. He was an analyst at Alabama last 2 years,
I mean,
not broadcast analyst.
A wealth of knowledge, man, of football, period.
He's a great player himself, an All-American at Iowa. Zappe pulls it back, and he's got all sorts of time. He could get his master's while he's back there. Crosses the 50 and steps out of bounds.
I mean, I literally, with my bum knees, I want to go play in front of this, behind this offensive line. Look at this. Look at this offensive line, just working. Man, road graders up front.
I mentioned it earlier. Pro Football Focus, #1 pass blocking grade of the past 3 years of any team is this grade at 90.4.
Well, you got to give Stephen Hamby a ton of credit. That's pass interference.
Certainly is. No, Stearns was looking for it, but we got a flag anyway. It's probably going to be offsides.
Defense number 49 in the neutral zone.
Bailey's a little late.
5-yard penalty, remains third down.
You got defense in the neutral zone there, but Bailey's a little late on this throw. Needs to put that up a little bit earlier, but the defender ran right through him, never turned for the ball or made a play for the ball. Ball needs to be up now. But see, the defender just shouldered him right to the ground. That's pass interference.
3rd and 7 from the 42. And it's picked off. And we're going the other way. And into the end zone, that's one way to do it. T.J. Young, his 2nd touchdown of the season.
And he just sits on it and jumps his hitch route, knowing that he has protection over the top. He squats on it. Bailey stares it down a little bit too long. And sometimes you got to shoot your shot, and he does that. T.J. Ford to the house.
T.J. Young's 5th career interception, 3rd this season, 2nd touchdown. He picked up a fumble against Fordham and ran it back. And that.
Welcome back to Houshun Smith Stadium. And defense creating offense and points as you get a look right here at the safety. T.J. Young doing his thing. Watch him creep. They show too high. He sits and squats, jumps to a little inside slant route, and 62 yards later, the Owls have life.
It's the 8th interception this season thrown by Bailey Zappi. Second touchdown on the season for FAU's T.J. Young. Kick will come out to just about the 20-yard line. Coming up next, a big one in Conference USA. Marshall at Charlotte take on the 49ers. Thundering Herd need a win, keep their hopes alive. Kickoff 3:30 Eastern right here on Stadium. Josh Appel, Patrick Murray on the call. So if Western Kentucky wins and Marshall loses, Western Kentucky would win the East. If both win, well, next week comes down to that. Showdown. At Marshall, the winner take all.
Showdown.
In the West, Marshall. Big showdown later this afternoon also in UTSA and UAB. And a run on first down. Noah Whittington is out to about the 24.5-yard line.
And going back to that, Marshall not looking ahead. You know, they're at Charlotte. Charlotte plays extremely well at home, led by Chris Reynolds. Marshall will look to Grant Wells and Rasheen Ali to try to get them an opportunity for the big win next week.
Western Kentucky open 1-4. They've won 5 straight. It's Jarris Stearns again. And Jarris Stearns now has 5 more catches every single game this year, said 7 or more catches, 82+ yards.
Yeah, he's put up some amazing numbers. And a lot of people will look at his size and say, oh, he's 5'9", 5'10". But the ability to run routes, the ability to run the jet sweeps and the bubble screens with efficiency, to understand how to do all those things, as well as run the ball or run routes down the field. He's awesome.
There's Mitchell Tinsley. That's his 5th reception. over from Hutchinson Community College. Already has a touchdown this afternoon. You mentioned Stearns, one of the 10 Blitnikoff semifinalists for top wide receiver in the country. And Bailey Zappi on all the awards lists, headed to the Senior Bowl. Maxwell semifinalist for top player in the country. Davey O'Brien semifinalist, best quarterback in the country. There's Stearns again. And Stearns had originally committed to Army as a quarterback. Well, I'm sure he would have had a fine career.
I don't know if he would have put up these kind of numbers on the other end, though. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it tells you, speaks of his acumen as well. As a quarterback, you kind of understand the field and how it lays out, and you watch him run routes and watch him, his feel for what he's doing out there. He's a special player.
Zappi trying to redeem himself after that pick six. Goes over the middle, Dawood Davis with his fifth catch. And Jarrett Stearns, so this coming into today, so give him 6 more, 117 catches this year, leading the country. Second place is Drake London at USC, who broke his ankle, and he had 88 catches in 8 games. So just the difference is so stark, even though there's the game difference as well, just blowing marks out of the water.
And people know it's coming. That's the thing. You know it's coming. Since the Michigan State game, you know he's the go-to guy.
Here he is again, this time on the near side, out to just about the 45-yard line, a yard short.
But I think that's what makes him so good right there, to be able to catch those quick outs, the bubble screens, the smoke screens, the now screens, and get yards. He catches them without fear. He trusts his guys blocking for him. And you could tell that by the way he catches and accelerates.
Listed at 5'9", buck 85. 3rd and 1. Handoff just off left guard. Adam Cofield has enough.
That's a really good job of moving the chains. And Cofield, you know, talk about somebody that's had some history, 3 straight national championships on the FCS level.
North Dakota State transfer.
I mean, talk about understanding what it takes to win and be successful. I mean, there's no higher level than that. You're winning back to back to back.
On 1st and 10 from the 42. Quick hit. Tinsley breaks one tackle. Tinsley down the sideline. Stutter steps. Tinsley across the 10, still going inside the 5. Kid's got moves for days.
This is a great read by Tinsley and Bailey Zappi right here. They run the boundary blitz with the corner, and he just makes them pay for it by having that recognition.
And there's a flag down on the play.
The flag is for a face mask. This will be a touchdown.
Malachi Corley.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 35. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The result of the play is a touchdown.
They put you to sleep with these bubble screens and now screens. They do it so well, and the receivers block about as well as anybody I've seen at the point of attack for each other. I mean, they are committed to it, and you could tell the work that they put in doing it.
Braden Arvidson's perfect career continues.
Welcome back. Western Kentucky gets on the board, but first, watch what your quarterback here sees and finds. Series after getting fooled, he sees the boundary corner blitz and throws right at it. Tinsley with the fake, and then off to the races. And then the next play, he was just throw the quick screen out to Malachi Corley. Fights off 2 defenders and back on the board for Bailey Zappi's 4th touchdown of the day.
On an onside kick.
And the kicker got it. That was amazing.
Recovered.
That was amazing.
When it's going your way, it's going your way.
And this has to be something that was seen upstairs, leaving the middle of the field wide open. Look at the middle of the field. Look how much space there is between 15, 20 yards. And the kicker says, I'm going to be a better athlete, Corey Munson. I'm going to be a better athlete than you guys right here. And he goes and gets it.
Wow. Been saying that a lot today.
That's how you get some cred right there as a kicker.
Now a little
swing,
faking the end around. And across the 30-yard line, the reception's made by Stearns. He had all sorts of time back there, and Stearns gets his 8th reception. Here we go. That's what you call sudden change in football.
Sudden change. And I mean, what a great play by the kicker, Corey Munson. Come on.
Got a pretty significant sun glare out there on the field as well now.
Yeah, did you see the catch right there by Stearns off of his shoelace?
Previous play is under review.
I'm going to be honest, Ed, I did not. the sun glare got me. But we'll take another look at it, I'm sure, as the play's being under review.
Well, I felt like Zappe had a chance to throw that to him a little bit quicker. He was in space. He wanted to go deep. He hung on a little too long, but was still able to get it out to him.
Let's take a look here.
It can touch the ground. It can touch the ground, but his
hands on it.
And it's in control. It doesn't bobble at all. It can touch the ground. Didn't skip to him. His hands are on it.
Great camera work here.
Phenomenal camera work. Hands are on it. It's hard to change that call.
But you're right, with all these screens, these wide receivers, it's so easy to ingratiate yourself with the coaching staff and with the quarterback and in that wide receiver room when you're willing to get out there and block. And you're right, and these guys do it so well.
It takes discipline, right? You have to be disciplined. You have to move your feet and do all the little things that kind of gets boring, especially when you're a wide receiver. You're a thoroughbred. You're ready to go run. You're ready to do some fun stuff. It's not fun. But it's fun when your guys are catching the ball, getting 8, 10 yards a pop.
The ball hit the ground, therefore it's an incomplete pass. Ball be placed back at the previous spot, and it'll be second down.
Another example of why we're up here, not down there.
Well, he said the ball hit the ground. The ball can hit the ground, so that doesn't make it an incomplete pass. If it moves after the fact, right? If it moves
they're saying he didn't have control of it.
So that's. So I don't mind the call. It's just maybe the explanation.
Understandable. Look at Zach Kitley, age 30. Up for the Broyles Award, the top assistants in the country. Only 59 nominated and just over 13,000 of them out there. And Zappe's got a man wide open, Joey Belgian.
Joey, keep running.
Knocked out of bounds at just about the 5.
They're just displacing them defensively by running ins with a wheel, ins with outs. Now there's 12 men on the field for FAU.
So when you're moving this quickly, it's difficult for a defense to get itself all set up.
Right, and if the offense doesn't sub, then you can't. I mean, you really can't make a substitution.
Right.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players on the field at the snap. Penalties half the distance to the goal will
I'm
remains
just
first
impressed
down.
that you can count to 12 that fast.
Well, I just kind of know hats. I don't really know the numbers. I just know hats. But look at them just rip it down the sideline on the wheel. Doesn't try to make the perfect throw. Don't stop your feet there, Belgium. Keep running, man.
Maybe he ran out of breath. Give him a break.
What? You're at 3 yards to go. Now you're going to let somebody else go get your touchdown?
Timeout. FAU. They're first.
FAU calls
30
timeout
seconds.
as Western Kentucky will set up their plan at the 2-yard line. And so Bailey Zappi now 25 for 29, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns, the pick six. He's completed 86% of his passes so far in this first half. The Conference USA, we mentioned the Joe Burrow record of 60 back in 2019 touchdown passes with LSU. The Conference USA record set by Western Kentucky's Brandon Dowdy back in 14. He had 49. Case Keenum 48. And you can see he's the active leader in career passing yards by a large margin over Kenny Pickett, who's being talked about as the #1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, that was coming into today, by the way, those numbers.
Kai Robichaux is in the backfield. Zappi has it batted down.
Nice play outside.
Jordan Helm was right there.
You had Stearns on a swirl route where you start your out and reverse pivot, come back underneath. But good job on the edge by Jordan Helm.
And Jordan Helm has been at FAU since 2016. It's wild to look at rosters this year and just see how long guys have been. And how about this formation? Under center. A handoff, I believe, to Robichaux. And nowhere to go.
That's when you're running that full house, you're running power, you got to follow your guys outside. He cut back a little bit too early. You got to follow your other 2 backs.
Looked like he hurt his left hand, too, as he jogs off.
That was my offense in the red zone when I was in college. We ran
that
full
full
house.
house?
It was great. Count heads and run the opposite way. That's it.
Pulls it back this time. Zappi into the end zone again. Mitchell Tinsley is filthy. There is another flag down.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 56.
This one's coming back.
Penalty. The previous spot remains third
Bo
down.
Wilson brings it back.
This is all for play, though, right? With the ineligible receiver downfield. But watch this throw and catch. Look at the ball placement. And look at the hands job. I'd like him to turn his hands over, but he snatches it in. But the ball placement, man, that is special. That kind of accuracy, man.
He is an NFL quarterback.
Without question.
And then when he gets in the room, since he's been in the coaching rooms all year, been in all the meetings, he's going to get into the rooms with the NFL teams and impress the heck out of them. If they're not already impressed with what he does on the field. Zappi this time. It's incomplete. He was looking for Malachi Corley. There in coverage, Armani Eli Adams.
They tried to run just a fade stop over there, and the ball's a little bit too high and away. It's okay to be away, but you need it low so your guy can come back down to it.
All right, so after that onside kick, Western Kentucky had a penalty that pulled back a touchdown, their 8th penalty already today. And instead it is a chip shot field goal attempt from 25 yards. Braden Narveson is now 31 for 36 in his career. A 31-10 lead for Tyson Helton, 44-year-old. Came back to Western Kentucky, has some burning questions in Conference USA, and we will find answers over the next 2 weeks.
We will. You know, UTSA, listen, they're a phenomenal team. They're fantastic. So 1 and 3 will take care of itself today, right? UAB, do they have the best defense? If their defense shows up and shuts down UTSA, there you go. I'm Western Kentucky all day. Just because of the way they're playing with the efficiency on offense, turning the ball over on defense, absolutely. And Dana Demo, the job he's done at UTEP, come on, man. They're 6 wins already. They're bowl eligible already after going over in conference last year. Come on.
Impressive.
Easy.
Really impressive. A lot of good stuff going on in the state of Texas in Conference USA, not necessarily elsewhere around college football. Should they do it again? Nope. This time they'll kick it away.
Well,
a sidewinder. Oh, Western. Look out. Woo. Yikes. Nico Cooper.
I mean, watch number 4 come in and fill right there.
Tackle football.
That's a long, rangy defensive end running down on special teams.
Good thing it's warmed up a little bit, because if it's a little bit colder and take that hit.
Feels like FAU's been on the sidelines, the offense, forever.
Buck 32, and that was almost a pass for a dangerous hit. Antoine Kincaid was there to break things up.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. They have the seam route open, but the ball's just got to come out a little faster, right? You give these guys that have tremendous closing speed a chance when you're tick late on your throws.
FAU's had the football for just only about 2.5 minutes in the second quarter. We got a late flag here after the LeJonte Wester reception. Said these officials do not care about your flight coming out of Nashville today.
They don't.
Personal foul, right below the waist. Offense, number 82. 15-yard penalty for responding to the foul. Remains second down.
They called chop block. You hear the wind whistling down there. It's howling. Call the chop block down on the outside edge, and he had to come down towards the line of scrimmage to do that. You can't do that. You've got to go directly at a guy, or you can be running if he's outside of you towards him outside, but you can't go towards the line of scrimmage and chop.
So take that one back 15 yards.
Timeout, Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky will call a timeout. So far in this first half, 16 combined penalties for 148 yards. 82 yards on the FAU side, 66 on the Western Kentucky side. And Western Kentucky's offense have not taken the foot off the pedal, and now FAU, though, has 1:20 to try to do something. Their lone touchdown came on the TJ Young pick 6. N'Kosi Perry's numbers, 13 for 19, 146. They just haven't been able to sustain anything and finish something.
Right. And they're safe numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Made some safe throws, but it just looks like there's a frame that he's missing trying to get the ball out of his hand on time.
No sacks Saturdays, the O-line life, and that is technically correct. No sacks yet today.
Love that shirt, by the way.
Handed off right into the teeth of the defense, Johnny Ford. Looks like FAU's getting a bit frustrated as the clock winds down here in the first half, and Western Kentucky's going to want this ball back.
Timeout, Western Kentucky, their third, full timeout.
So that's their final timeout, facing a 3rd and 19. Stadium's coverage of Conference USA football concludes next week. That's where I'll be with Patrick Murray, Middle Tennessee, and FAU in Boca. Saturday night, 7 Eastern. With the Owls and the Blue Raiders sitting a win away from bowl eligibility, so could be a lot on the line. 7 Eastern in Boca. It's about 2 hours after dinner time.
Yeah, but you can get dinner all night in Boca, though. In Miami, you can get dinner all night.
Well, in Miami,
right?
yes.
Well,
More
short
in
drive.
In Boca, it's it's a big 5 o'clock dinner time.
It is a big 5, but you could still go find some stuff to do if you'd like to.
My folks are down there. My in-laws are down there. A lot of Northeast retirees making their way down to Florida as the weather starts to get colder.
Hey, I'm feeling every surgery I ever had when it gets cold, man. So I get it. I understand the warm weather attraction.
A handoff and right up the gut. And a big run for Johnny Ford as D'Angelo Malone makes the tackle. First time we've said the preseason Defensive Player of the Year, his name this afternoon. And it brings up 4th and 3, and FAU will punt it away.
This wind is swirling really bad on the field.
So they'll have about 20 seconds as FAU will call timeout here.
Timeout. FAU.
Play clock
Their
winding
second
down.
30-second timeout.
Why not just get the punt away?
I'm going to snap it, get it away, because I don't want to stop the clock
Exactly.
and help this potent offense any more than they need.
And Willie Taggart's return so far to Western Kentucky has not gone the way that he has wanted it to go, as he looks up at the number hanging outside this stadium, the number 1, as he was a starter all 4 years here at Western Kentucky, from 94 to 98, part of the Western Kentucky Hall of Fame, being a state champion at Manatee High School in Bradenton, Florida. Recruited by Jack Harbaugh, his head coach, and his son Jim Harbaugh, who was doing some recruiting on the side during his NFL career. And that kick will send Stearns back to the 20. Stearns gets across the 25, across the 30, and he is laid out. Got a flag down. Devon Darden was the one who hit him.
Well, you don't have to stand over and talk. You just made a great hit. Don't stand over and talk. And you're down 21. I mean, those are selfish penalties right there in my book. I mean, I don't get that. You did your job, right? You tackled the guy.
Got multiple flags down. Let's see here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, receiving team. During the return, a 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the spot of the foul. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team, number 28. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from that dead ball spot. That's number 28's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So I'm sorry, that was Jamarcus Johnson who did the taunting.
Yeah, it's a great hit, but look, you don't have to stand up, sit over him, and then you're still standing there. You're still standing there over him.
Just move on.
Yes, you're
Just
losing.
move on.
You're down 21 points, and you want to talk. And then what did I do? What did I do? Why did they throw a flag? Come on. Wow.
Heck of a half for Bailey Zappi.
That is a tremendous half.
And an opportunity here. Let's see what they do. 15 seconds left. Nothing's out of the question with this offense. Hand it off. Up ahead to Whittington. And that's how the half will end.
He finished on that one. That was a great finish by Whittington.
With Amarni Eli Adams there on the tackle. We've said wow a lot, and I think every wow has been well earned. First half stats dominated by Western Kentucky. You can just see the yards per play, 9.3 yards per play.
Well, this is the one right here that coach is going to be upset with, right?
Both of them.
That. I mean, when you're playing at a championship level, those are the things you can't do. And this team has done that over the course of this winning streak, speaking of Western Kentucky.
I mean, FAU had brought themselves down to a first and goal at the 3, and then penalties took them out for that first field goal of the game that made it 14-3. And Western Kentucky will, with the shadows creeping over the field, will start with the ball to start this second half. Western Kentucky has won 5 straight. A win today, coupled with a Marshall loss at Charlotte, which comes up right after us here on Stadium, would give the East Division title to Western Kentucky. If both teams win, then it comes down to next week in Huntington. Look out! The opening kick of the second half. There he goes.
Coming back, there's Laundry.
And it's afraid that Beanie Bishops
During the return, holding, receiving
Coming
team
back.
number 89. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That's Joey Belgian is going to negate the kickoff return from Beanie Bishop.
I mean, that was on the other side of the field, so it had to happen early in the play.
The
But
flag
man,
is down at the 20.
What a return, though. Beanie showing he's got some speed, telling those wide receivers, hey, I'm a playmaker too, man.
And that is one way, though, to, you know, if you're FAU, you catch a break there, that wakes you up right away. So now you want to try to use that as a positive here on defense as you take a look at those first half leaders. Mentioned the Zappy numbers. Jarris Stearns, 7 receptions, 91 yards. How about Mitchell Tinsley has 115 yards receiving on 6 receptions. They'll run the ball on first down.
Tell you what, this offensive line is doing a great job, not only pass protecting, but there you see the nice draw, getting up to the second level.
And incomplete passes. Eddie Williams was there for FAU.
And FAU just really does not want to give up the big play. And they're trying to stay deep, trying to get home with their front 3. Anderson, Southall, and Wheeler's in there in the mix as well, Joyner.
Winnington is in the backfield with, now he's split out wide. And they'll throw the ball out wide. It's Dawood Davis. That's his 6th reception as he goes over 60 yards.
It just, as soon as you show cover 3, they feel like they have you right where they want it.
Quick hit.
And that's a misread there by Zappy, one of the few. They roll down into the boundary. And a really good job of coming downhill. Making a play by Jordan Helm, excuse me.
FAU's been preaching all week. Keep things in front of us. Get our hands up, get some tips. So far, not so good. That's a good tackle, though, on the completion to Malachi Corley. Zion Gilbert was there on the stop.
Well, he didn't see the corner, right? You had that bunch formation. Zion Gilbert, the corner out here, just sat on it. So you got to work something inside. Take your eyes off of it.
brings up 3rd and long. Zappe changing the play. 2 for 4 on 3rd down in that first half. First time that Zappe's been touched today, and there's the flag. Looking for Jarrett Stearns, and Armani Eli Adams got there a little too early.
Unfortunately, it's the right call. If the ball is not behind Stearns, there's no pass interference here, right? But because
pass interference, defense number 30, 15-yard penalty.
But because the ball's thrown behind and Stearns is trying to stop and jump, there you see his hands on him and he just runs into him. That's pass interference, unfortunately. I mean, it's a tough call because you're actually in pretty good position there on the defensive side by Armani Eli Adams. He's in great position, but because the ball's thrown behind, creates that contact.
2 big penalties already set now to start this second half. The one that brought the touchdown back on the kick return, and another flag, and then this pass interference. So there have been 10 penalties on each side.
You're going to get stats.
Offense, number 53, 10-yard penalty.
That's the center Rusty stats.
And that's because of the penetration immediately by Evan Anderson. Comes off the ball and just drives.
Evan Anderson is going to be a good player for a long time.
Oh, my goodness.
Just a freshman from Orlando, 6'3", 356.
But has trimmed down, has lost weight, and is really getting better and better.
He played high school lacrosse. He liked just laying people out. Zappe's got all sorts of time here, not on the same page with Tinsley, but good coverage out there by Gilbert.
And sometimes when you have stop routes on, you stop, hitch, anything where you're just stopping at the quarterback, if you get press coverage, you have the ability to run a fade or a go route. And if you're capped, you stop. If you're even, you're leaving. You keep going, and they're just miscommunication.
Zappe last week in the first half, 20 for 27, 330, and 3 touchdowns. That one's picked for the second time today.
This is just a really good job of reading. There's no flat control, right? Excuse me, there is flat control, but the defender doesn't buy it. He just sits out there.
Coral Smith, his 3rd interception of the season.
And this one, he just sits out here in the slot right there, and watch him look like he's going to run to the flat. He starts to run there, and then he drifts back in for the dig route and steals it. I mean, that's just good disguise, and that right there is Bailey being stubborn. I'm going to get that throw downfield instead of just dropping it off. Drop it off to your back. Maybe he makes some guys miss.
And a big run on first down by Johnny Ford, a gain of 9. Cozy Perry, $136 in that first half, trying to get this offense moving in a hurry. There is Ford. And Ford is stopped as he tries to get around the right side.
I just like the energy and the burst that Johnny Ford runs with. So quick. And just seems to be getting better as the season goes on.
All right, so on first down, pass is caught by Ford. His 18th catch of the season.
How awesome is that to be able to take your tailback and split him out, a la Alvin Kamara, and run an out route with him and make it look like he's a wide receiver.
Richard, sophomore, transferred from South Florida. Under pressure, Perry's got to throw it away, and he doesn't throw it away, and it's picked. Beanie Bishop, as Perry tried to throw it away, Beanie Bishop, it held up just long enough. Western Kentucky gets the ball back. All right, so time to vote for your most spirited fan base. FAU has traveled a little bit here. Western Kentucky, homecoming, senior day. So you can take your phones out. We know you're all used to the QR codes. So you can go on to that, hold your phone up, get that QR code, takes you to the flow code page. You can vote for the most spirited fan base. Either Western Kentucky or FAU. As we approach the end of the college football regular season, just 2 more weeks. And Western Kentucky, off the interception and attack on the backfield, Eddie Williams dropping Adam Cofield in a hurry.
And that's a good job coming downhill by Eddie Williams and sure tackling. And listen, this Western Kentucky offense that was just rolling and rolling seems to be a little stagnant.
I said this defense has got to bail out the offense here for FAU after that mistake from the Cozy Perry.
You can't have that mistake. I mean, flat out, as a senior, that's not a ball you even leave near the field.
But now pinned deep in their own territory. Kick it out, it is Tinsley. Now to about the 15-yard line, and this is a monster 3rd down.
It is.
For this FAU defense.
I just want to say again that I want to come back and play 6 to 7 plays with this offensive line. I mean, they are stellar in the pass pro. These guys kick set, use their hands, they communicate really well. It's a great group.
It's also a group that's had to adjust to new communication.
Yeah, and Stephen Hamby has done a great job coaching these young dudes up.
Right on 3rd and 3. That's exactly what FAU needed. You surprised that Western Kentucky ran the ball? Armani Eli Adams there for the tackle.
Well, you got a 21-point lead. However, I do have one of the top quarterbacks in the country, and he has made a couple of mistakes, but I'm still putting it in his hands. And I think defensively, you feel like you have a control on things. Your things are rolling.
Jonte Wester is back. John Haggerty the 3rd to punt it away. Through the wind to about the 30, and Wester out to about the 37-yard line. Western Kentucky, with a win and a Marshall loss, will win the East. But if Marshall wins and Western Kentucky holds on to win, then those two will play next week at Marshall in Huntington, West Virginia, to win the East Division. That Marshall-Charlotte game that's, you know, Western Kentucky be tuned into on Stadium comes up right after us. Patrick Murray, Josh Bell. Be a good one from Charlotte, the 49ers and the Thundering Herd. 31-10, Hilltoppers in front. Johnny Ford gets around the right edge. Johnny Ford down the sideline.
This is a great job by Jaquan Burton here. And everyone's like, well, why Jaquan Burton? Well, he had a chance to crack back on somebody. Would have got a personal foul for a blindside block, but he didn't. He just shielded. And Ford with the quick feet.
Perry, that is dangerous.
Watch number 82 right here make this decision. He just shields it. I mean, that could have been a KO shot. Smart play by him, and Ford gets outside the edge, picks up a nice gain and a 1st down. Then they come back and try to throw the bubble screen, and we talked about how important it is for your guys to block in space. Unable to do so.
Great eyes by you just to see that. Look out. Blitz coming up the middle. Perry takes off. Perry stays on his feet and actually gains a few.
A.J. Brathwaite brought him down, but he was under pressure.
I think it was a design run, but those are plays that Nkosi can make, right? He can make those plays. He's got to do it more often.
3rd and 5, just over midfield at the 44. Gets it out to the 40, reversing field, and on the cutback, that's enough for the first down. It's Jaquan Burton. Don Bradshaw brings him down.
And keeping the play alive in the pocket. And you see he wanted to take off, but he settled in, stayed within the read, found the crossing route.
Now, is this difficult if you're throwing from sunshine into the shade? Is it difficult for a wide receiver to pick up the football? As Johnny Ford runs it left side?
Could be, but as a quarterback, you just got to throw it. Right?
Oh, sure.
Of course. I think if it's not a deep ball, right? If it's not coming up and out and back into the darkness, it's a little more difficult. But a straight shot, your eyes are back on that lane, so you should be able to find it.
Okay. 5 wide receivers out there for Willie Taggart. He's just 1-8 outside of the state of Florida as head coach here at FAU. They won at Charlotte last month. Must put points on the board here. Down 31-10, and they're into the red zone. It's LeJontay Wester, his 6th catch of the afternoon.
They come back to the all slant route. This time he takes the number 2 receiver from the outside, the slot. Doesn't wait on the outside receiver, but takes number 2 wide open.
4 to the left side, and Burton on the near side. Ball at the 15. Looks for Burton, finds Burton. And he'll get just about 5 on first down.
Nkosi Perry finding some rhythm after that big mistake. The defense bailed him out, but finding some rhythm offensively.
Wester on the sweep, and Wester is brought down after no gain. A host of Hilltoppers there to make the tackle.
Listen, it goes without saying this team needs to score a touchdown here. Not only for the score, I mean, it'll be a 2-score game, but not only for the score, but they need it for confidence.
4 down territory?
It for confidence.
Getting in, not just a field goal. Perry thought about running to the right, instead goes into the end zone. Touchdown! John Mitchell.
What a great catch.
Gets this offense into the end zone for the first time this afternoon, and boy, did the Owls need it.
And listen, Nkosi Perry does a great job of really staying relaxed with pressure bearing down on him. They make the fake inside. Defense did not bite at all, and he stayed calm, retreated a little bit, gave himself a little extra time, and put some touch on that throw. And Mitchell, outstanding catch, young man.
Morgan Suarez on for the extra point. Got ourselves a ball game here. Didn't feel like it as the Hilltoppers were going up and down the field in that first half.
Absolutely.
Some defense, and we're back here in Bowling Green. A 2-touchdown game now, and FAU got away with one here. John Mitchell said does not catch this football.
That ball is on the ground. Oh, sorry about that circle. But right there, it's on the ground.
That's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's a big-time trap.
But on the scoreboard and on the stat sheet, that's a touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown, making it a 2-touchdown game now at 31-17. The previous touchdown for FAU had come on a pick 6. TJ Young took it back. And the last time that Beanie Bishop was kicked off to, he ran it back, but then a holding call brought it back. And they will not kick to him this time. And Bailey Zappi will take over at the 29-yard line. Western Kentucky and Marshall atop the East Division. Can't say it enough. If Western wins today and Marshall loses at Charlotte in the game that follows us here on Stadium, then Western Kentucky would win the East. Big one out west, UTSA and UAB later this afternoon for that West Division. Second to last week of the season. If there is a tie between Western Kentucky and UTSA, Western Kentucky would be traveling to UTSA for the Conference USA Championship game. There's Zappi on the near side looking for the flag. Mitchell Tinsley, the intended receiver. Not going to get it there, but going to get it in the middle of the field.
That may be holding where that flag is.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains first
Both
down.
penalty, 101 yards in penalties. And Western Kentucky that opened up touchdown, touchdown, touchdown in the second half. So far, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, they've struggled in the third quarter, really just stepping on their own toes, right? You get points taken away from you.
Screen out to Stearns, and Stearns scoots his way across the 30 to about the 33. We've got a FAU player down. And the fans don't like it, as thinking that just trying to hold things up. It's Armani Eli Adams. Playing in his first game this season.
You know, sometimes offensively you gotta take a step back and just go basics, right? Do some basic things that work, like they just did there with the screen. They know they have those. The Owls have done a nice job attacking those screens, making it tough for them. As Eli Adams gets off the field on his own. But everything was rolling so easy, right? And then you kind of go through some stumbles, and then the other team gets a little confidence, right? So where are you now offensively? Now you got to go back to the drawing board and really just execute. Second and long, you don't need it all, but you need a good, solid completion here.
It's an incomplete pass, looking for Dawood Davis over on the Western Kentucky home sideline. Davis, the transfer from Oregon. This Western Kentucky team will be headed to likely its third straight bowl game, just a matter of where they end up in these Conference USA standings. Next week at Marshall, which could determine the East Division crown.
If 29 out over Stearns jumps outside, safety's coming down. They're doubling him. Wow. Oh, what a catch.
How many times have we said, wow, today? And it's all earned.
Tinsley.
Mitchell Tinsley.
Tinsley. All hands catch, too. Watch this. Dives, guy hugging on you. I mean, that's legit catch, too.
Kick out to Whittington. Whittington lost the football. That ball is loose, and the Owls have it. It's picked up by Jordan Helm.
And that's the play I've been calling for. Get it to your back outside, but the punch out. I mean, you see the haymaker.
Chase
thrown.
Lassiter was there, and he punched it out.
Right here. I mean, that's
Check
a
that.
haymaker.
That's Williams. That's Eddie Williams. That's the peanut punch right there.
That is 100% the peanut punch.
The Peanut Tillman punch.
First down turnover, and again, mistakes, penalties, all those things are beginning to creep up on the Hilltoppers.
Here's Johnny Ford. So 12 penalties and 3 turnovers, one being a pick 6, and now a fumble in their own territory. It's the 6th fumble this season for Western Kentucky. Look out. The flag comes in at the end. D'Angelo Malone.
Intentional grounding, or are they going to call roughing the passer? It should be intentional grounding. There's nobody there.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 79, the penalties decline. Intentional grounding, offense number 7. The ball be placed in the spot of the foul. The down counts, 3rd down.
You see N'Kosi Perry really trying to work his arm out as 75 right here gets called for the hold. I mean, they had the wrong number on that. That had to be inside, but the intentional grounding for sure. Listen, if you don't have your screen, you could skip it at your guy's feet immediately. You don't need to run around and hold on to the ball and make it worse.
On 3rd and 17, jump ball, who's got it? The Hilltoppers do.
Western just took that away.
Looked like Omari Alexander, and that's exactly who it is.
Welcome back to Bowling Green, and they're trying to run a double screen here, and then they have the option down the field, talking about Florida Atlantic offensively. But this is a play you cannot make. You cannot just hang the ball up and hope to throw it over somebody. That's 2 costly mistakes by a senior quarterback. Take off and run the ball. Go get 4 or 5 yards and live the play on the next down.
The 17th interception this season and the 2nd of the day. And in this 5-game winning streak, that's now 12 interceptions in their last 2+ games. They had 10 interceptions in their last 2 games, and only a few teams have ever done that since 2000. And so it was Iowa in 2021, Mississippi State in 2002, and Miami in 2001 on a team that had Ed Reed, Andrell Roll, and Sean Taylor. And that's this Western Kentucky defense just taking the ball away. And that one comes at the most opportune time after they gave the ball away on offense.
And listen, they started the season rough. They had some struggles defensively, gave up some bust plays. Under first-year coordinator Maurice Crum, they have continued to get better, fine-tune, and clean up things. And right now they're bailing out one of the top offenses in the country.
You know, they had that defensive players-only meeting after the UTSA loss, and things really came together. They want to hang their hat on defense as they've had in the past here, as Cofield gets a first down across the 50. I mean, FAU's offense, they've had the opportunities, said. They've had those chances. Zappi all sorts of time, going to the far side, drops it in. Jarris Stearns again. Give him 10 catches on the day as he crosses the 100-yard mark again.
The hands catch there was fantastic. With contact.
They're 6-1 when he has 10+ receptions. He's got 10 catches for $120. Mitchell Tinsley 8 catches for 137. And Zappi has passed the 400-yard mark. He's got 405 yards passing. The average is 419.5, and we've got just about 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
See them just giving signals to everyone. They're working based on what they're seeing, what they're being given by the defense.
Play action. Over the middle, wide open, Tinsley into the end zone for his second score of the afternoon.
Great read and great design. Great design on this play. I mean, you're running a waggle, you run a flash motion where you come over and come back the other direction. Run your tight end on a corner, put that guy on the flat route, and then you hit the backside drag.
Now tied for fourth with 47 touchdown passes on the season with Paul Smith, Tulsa 2007 on the Conference USA list.
Just a nice little cross route. You see the vertical route carries the safeties out of the picture. And Tinsley does a nice job. Continue on across the field. Hands catch. I think that's another takeaway. These receivers, not a lot of body catching going on.
All right, so let's get your phones out and vote for the most spirited fan base. Use your QR code, show your pride. You don't even have to be at the game to be part of the spirited fan base. You can do it from home. So use that flow code. Right now it is a tight race at 51%, 49%. Not going to tell you who's in the lead because I just want you to keep voting. FAU and Western Kentucky, use your phone. There's the QR code, takes you to the flow code page. You got it from there. Third game this season now. Tinsley and Stearns have gone over 100 yards. And Bailey Zappi now, the sixth time this year, he's gone for over 420 yards in the air, as he now has 432 on the day. And Western Kentucky doing a nice job on kick coverage, as well as FAU will take over inside the 15. So as significant as the turnover was for FAU, said Western Kentucky absolutely had to capitalize here.
They did, and they did a nice job. I mean, they had struggled on 3 previous drives, just stumbling, stepping on their own feet. But you look at those numbers for Zappi and this offense, it's been special. When they're playing at their rate, at their efficiency level, it's tough to stop.
Into the backfield, Beanie Bishop is there to stop Johnny Ford.
There's just a different energy with 21.
From Louisville, Kentucky, about 2 hours north of here. Perry, oh, he's in trouble, and down he goes. Jaquez Evans, Donut, with his first career sack. It will not be a safety.
Well, it stops where the momentum stops, so that's the right call.
Dangerous territory here as the clock winds down in the third quarter. From their own goal line. Gets himself a little bit of room and some more.
You got to tackle in space.
Bishop finally takes down Jaquan Burton. And that's going to be close.
You've got to do a better job of tackling in space. You can't let a guy escape, especially when you've got help coming from inside.
Gain of 19 instead of the safety, a gain of 19 to bring up 4th and 4. We'll see if FAU Tries to get this punt off before the end of the quarter. Doesn't seem like it. There's all sorts of confusion going on. Doesn't look like the players know exactly how much time is on. Western Kentucky dominated in that first half, 31-10. Each team getting a touchdown on the board in the third quarter. A few turnovers, both sides. And Western Kentucky now up 38-17 as FAU is back to punt, with Matt Hayball standing on his own 5-yard line. Fair catch called for by Stearns at the 45-yard line. And Bailey Zappi, 432 yards, 5 more touchdowns. He's got most yards in the country, most touchdowns in the country. So why not just get him to New York City? What's the harm in that?
You said you'd host him, right?
Sure.
Right.
Pull-out couch. As long as he doesn't mind my daughter waking up around 6:30 for school. Get him to New York. Now, last time a non-Power 5 kid was in the top 3, I believe Jordan Lynch, the year Jameis Winston won the Heisman. And yes, while I'm aware that his hotel would be provided, I'm saying that
just in case.
Right, like for the NBA draft, there are guys that are invited to the green room, and then other guys who just sit in the stands. He can still get there. We'll just get him in.
Yes.
We'll get him in. We'll get him into the room.
He should be in.
So maybe he doesn't get a front row seat.
It's not the Power 5 Heisman, it's the Heisman. Right?
Yeah, freedom to assemble. We'll bring him in.
I'm coming too. Let's go.
He's making the case for the front row seats. Another catch by Jared Stearns. That's his 11th. About a half-yard shy of
making his
first
case
down.
Making a case for some preseason or postseason awards as well.
Who made a miss? Did Noah Whittington, cutting across for that first down. So he'll be headed to the Senior Bowl, Will Bailey Zappi, as you take a look at Noah Whittington hitting that triangle. Whoop!
Oh.
And Jordan Helm caught that breeze.
Said, wait, he was here and now he's there.
There's Ben Ratzlaff. He was another transfer from Houston Baptist, along with Jared Stearns, Josh Stearns, the brother, and Zach Kitley, the offensive coordinator, all in their first year here in Bowling Green. When they came in, the coaching staff kept Brian Ellis on board as co-offensive coordinator, who had been the offensive coordinator. It's a really unique situation, and things have worked out great. There's a great history between Tyson Helton and Brian Ellis. He recruited him to UAB. They were together at USC. So there's some principles of both here in this offense. But the air raid is certainly working for him, and we'll have a horse collar tackle there as Jared Stearns gets taken down. And I think that's Armani Eli Adams.
You know, you have to trust.
Foul, horse collar, defense number 30. Penalties half the distance to the goal on the back first down.
You have to trust someone so much. We'll get back to your point, but as coming across right here, he's trying to stiff arm, but look at that right hand go inside the shoulder pads right there. And it's just so dangerous when you pull a guy down like that. I mean, the discipline piece, these young men learning, trying to grow.
Been 236 yards of penalties in this game, nearly evenly distributed. And there's a good tackle, and the ball is loose.
That ball came out after he hit the ground.
I think so, too.
The ruling on the field as the ball was fumbled and recovered by the defense.
So let's take another look at here. The reception was made. Craig Burt Jr. on the catch. And
that ball's out after he hits the ground.
Well on the ground.
Had control of it. He still has control of it there. And then once his elbow hits, it pops out right there. So they'll be on offense still.
The previous play of a fumble recovered by the defense is under review.
That's Burt's first reception since the Charlotte game, October 30th.
What? I don't understand why the announcement, because every turnover is looked at, isn't it?
Every turnover, and
touchdown.
We thought
right?
every scoring play as well, and then it wasn't looked at, and that was an FAU touchdown, but that ball is clearly out on the ground.
Once his elbow hits the ground, then the ball moves. That's not a fumble.
Jaden Williams was there to make the tackle. So Bailey Zappi right now, as we take a look just as he climbs the ladder here, 458 yards. You were here for his season high 523 yards against UTSA in a game that he threw a pick in the red zone that would have won the game.
Yeah, and they would, I mean, it was a battle. Frank Harris from UTSA played off the charts. He threw for 370 and rushed for another 80. I mean, it was a battle, and to watch two quarterbacks go at it like that, it was like one of the funnest games I've ever been a part of.
That's fun. So it will remain Western Kentucky football. Take you back to your Arena League Hall of Famer. Take you back to those Arena League days.
Oh, absolutely. Just awesome execution on both ends, and then a little misread at the end of the game between him and the receiver, and threw a pick, and that was it.
Zappi over the middle and into the end zone again. Joey Belgian.
Belgian for his second. And again, a good design. You run Jareth Stearns in motion, and he's got 12 catches, so you're going to pay attention to that motion. And then you just slide Belgian back inside across the formation.
He's got, and Big Red's got a birthday coming up. His 42nd birthday. Johnny Ford is going along the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds. Yes, he did.
There's no reason for 5 to ever come off the field. Literally. He is dynamic. You got to keep that dude on the field.
Looks like Nick Trani's coming into the game. New quarterback for FAU. He's appeared in 5 games this season, 13 for 21. His last pass came at UAB on October 9th. Redshirt junior. Started his career at Indiana.
And I mean, you think about it, it's been a tough afternoon for Nkosi Perry. You get this high-power Western Kentucky offense off the field 3 straight drives, and you're unable to do anything with it.
It was nifty on the far side by Wester. Check that, Burton.
It always works like that, right? You throw a backup in, and all of a sudden, all the receivers have a little extra juice. The O-line blocks a little harder, and then everybody's like, well, why didn't you play this guy the whole time?
There's trying to get a man down the sideline, and he connects.
Nice. It's the fumble.
John Mitchell.
Screen.
Yeah, John Mitchell was there, and it looked like Western Kentucky got beat.
They did. They came up to try to tackle the bubble screen, and it was a fake bubble and go.
Trani escaping the pocket, throws it back across his body. And Lowe looking for Mobley.
See, he's got some mobility. He can throw it around a little bit. He's had some experience, as you mentioned earlier.
Across the field.
Well, that's not an easy throw. Far hash out route on time.
Brandon Robinson the catch.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So if you're in an aggressive quick set, right, or aggressive, not quick set, two different things, but if you're an aggressive three-step drop from your quarterback and your line is going to drive out and you blow a guy off the ball 3-4 yards, you're not downfield on purpose. You're blocking.
Making it 2nd and 15 as Western Kentucky gets a hand on it. Like Michael Pitts might have gotten a hand on it. So N'Kosi Perry's day seems to be finished. 19 for 28, 213, a touchdown, 2 picks. They wanted to move the ball quickly. Still requires some decision making, and I'd say it was the poor decision making that defined Perry's day today. Trani under pressure, and he is sacked by Evans and Pitts.
Evans gets there first. But just a miss by the right tackle on the set.
So Matt Hayball will come out to punt on 4th and 24. Stearns back to receive.
Delay a game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
It's the 14th penalty for 145 yards on the day for FAU, who averages 6.5 penalties per game for 56 yards, just about where Western Kentucky is, who's been penalized 12 times for 101 yards. FAU needs a win over their last 2 games to become bowl eligible. Looks like it's going to come down to next week. Not the homecoming that Willie Taggart was looking for, as his number 1 retired as a quarterback. Set all sorts of records, playing D1 AA football, won a national title as a member of the coaching staff in 2002, and was the head coach here at Western Kentucky from 2010 to 2012. Took him to their first bowl game, had the transition from into Division I football into the FBS, and it means a lot for him to be back here. First time. Is I hope his players have seen these highlights, because he could go playing for Jack Harbaugh, and it means a lot for him to be here and to be back, as Drew Zobby is now in at quarterback for the first time this season. A redshirt sophomore, as Bailey Zappi's day is finished. Continue with that Willie Taggart story in a moment, as you take a look at Drew Zobby. Crestwood, Kentucky. It's Noah Whittington. So recruited by Jack Harbaugh. You can see, as Willie Taggart's been looking up at that all day, Jack and Jackie Harbaugh, recruited by Jack Harbaugh, who's the head coach here. Jim Harbaugh was playing for the Bears and was helping out recruiting in the offseason, and left a message for Willie Taggart and his buddies that said, hey, you gotta get a message here from Jim Harbaugh. I went to a payphone, called him back, collect. Didn't believe that it was Jim Harbaugh until he showed up the next day at lunch.
It's what a great story. Nice ball there by Zobby.
And that's the first career completion for Zobby.
Defense,
as the catch is made by D'Angelo Wilson.
Result of the play is a first down.
Penalties declined, first down, as Zabi is moving the offense out near midfield. So he's so close as Willie Taggart with the Harbaughs, and they've got Jim and John and Joni and Jack and Jackie that Willie Taggart said his wife calls him James. Best men at each other's weddings.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal story, and to watch him get emotional talking about, you know, Jack and Jackie and what they meant to his development as a man, right? As a football player, but as a man first and as a human. It's all outstanding story.
Hand off there, Jakari Moses. So emptying the rosters here on both sides. Always a broadcaster's dream as Western Kentucky goes across the 50.
I mean, you don't have a number 72 too?
Drew Zabi from Crestwood, Kentucky, about 2 hours north of here outside Louisville. And stay tuned, Marshall, Charlotte coming up next. If Marshall loses to Charlotte, then Western Kentucky will celebrate homecoming with an East Division title. Moses dancing, makes one miss and then gets himself a first down.
It speaks volumes to Tyson Helton's plan, right? We don't want to play easy games in non-conference, right? We want to play tough games because in the end, iron sharpens iron. You play those tough opponents, you're able to get into the conference play, and get on a nice run, and they've done just that.
It's got to be one of those Harbaugh-isms, right? Iron sharpens iron. Moses. Now, Jakari Moses had missed back-to-back seasons with knee injuries in 18 and 19. And last year, came back and played in 11 games. Got an injured player down on the field, and we'll step aside. 45-17. One of the attractions here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Zabi completes it just behind the line. Matthew Smith. So make sure you take your phones out and vote for the player of the game. So it's either Bailey Zappi. Use your QR codes. Get the QR code right there on the screen. Take to the Flowco page. Zappi, 39 for 49, 476 touchdowns. The 2 interceptions. 1 a pick 6. So maybe that hurts him against Big Red. It's either voting for Big Red, as FAU jumped off sides. Zabi going towards the end zone. He was looking for Craig Burt Jr., who looks like he might be a little shaken up.
Offside.
It was a free play.
Number 94 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Big collision at the end of that play. Defense offsides, and at the start of that, you'd like to see Zabi maybe go to a number 2 guy, continue to stay on that receiver, stay on him, but get to your next up.
Oh, how many times I've seen the play clock drop down this deep for Western Kentucky today. It's Cofield. Hops across the 25. Western Kentucky has gone to a bowl game its past 2 years. 6 of them since 6 bowl games in their past 8 years. There's Willie Taggart who took them to their first back in 2012, the Little Caesars Bowl, Central Michigan. It was the game that Taggart didn't end up coaching in. He had left for South Florida by then. Zabi, the pass is complete to Wilson, and Wilson is down to about the 7.
Good execution, recognition, and Wilson doing a nice job of sitting down in the zone, giving space, giving him Zabi a great target. Squared up his shoulders, sat it down. Nice throw and catch.
So Zabi looking for his first career touchdown pass possibly here. Jakari Moses is in the backfield. He hasn't had a touchdown since 2017 as he's battled so many injuries over his career. There is Moses, and there he is into the end zone for the first time in 4 years. Welcome back.
That is awesome. That is awesome. When you put work in to get yourself back on the field, that is awesome. It's great for Jakari.
(52-17) Western Kentucky rolling over Florida Atlantic. The game had gotten down to 31-17, and one of those big runs that Western Kentucky can go on. So who is the best mascot in college football? There's so many to choose from. Cruz narrowed it down to, well, more than just a few. But I'd vote for Big Red. I mean, a lot of these other ones are actually live animals. I don't know how comfortable I am with that. But
well, I'm going to vote for Big Red, but then a close second, I'm going to go with Ralphie from CU. I live in Colorado. I can't not vote for Ralphie.
But Big Red's the only one that you don't exactly know what it is. And these days, so right now you can, for the player of the game, just vote for Big Red.
No picks. Made a bunch of people smile today.
Bailey Zappi has won so many awards this year so far.
Spread the level around a little bit.
And we've tried to promote him for the Heisman invite. So now we're trying to promote Big Red. And these days, it's okay just not to know. We don't know what Big Red is. It's all right. I'm good with that.
It's okay.
We just don't know.
Kids smile. They love him, right? They love him. So
just makes everybody happy.
Give him some goodness.
Well, it's an it, correct? Not a him, not a her, it's an it. Oh, he dropped it. LeJontay Wester. It was in his hands. Oh, that's pretty. That's the FAU owl. Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, that's spectacular looking. Those colors don't even look real. They're so pretty.
Pardon me, Mr. Owl.
But, by the way, we just missed a dime by Tronti that wasn't caught. Great throw on the corner route.
It was in Wester's hands. That one is caught by John Mitchell. Nick Tronti, the quarterback, was Mr. Florida in 2016, went to Indiana, redshirted, ended up here at FAU. Western Kentucky was looking for another one over on that side with John Mitchell, the intended receiver.
Same route, different result on the double stick route again.
So this defense, it's right on par during their winning streak. 5 wins, opponents averaging just under 19 a game, holding FAU right now to 17. Taking advantage of turnovers as well. First down across the 40-yard line. So Barry Mobley there for the reception.
Tronti doing a nice job of staying alive in the pocket and coming back to his check down. You like to see that in a young receiver or young quarterback.
Near sideline, Brandon Robinson across midfield.
Another good read by Tronti. He wants it downfield, but there's space outside for your receiver to catch and run. Robinson does a nice job.
His time going up top, but like Robinson had fallen down. So we started by talking about the difference between the offense from Western Kentucky last year and this year. This year already, 10 games in coming in, they'd had 2,000 more yards than all of last season, where they played 12 games, almost identical in number of plays already as well. But this defense, so during this 5-game winning streak, now make it 6. So give them 90 points off turnovers in this, what will be 6-game winning streak, as Tronti completes another one to the 40.
I mean,
last year, 52 points total off turnovers.
I mean, it's been incredible, the turnaround defensively as well, right? You talk about the offense, but again, Maurice Crum, that defensive staff has done a nice job of really just growing together. And you listen to Coach Helton talk about, they know what they're good at, they know where their strengths are, their weaknesses, and you learn to play off of that. You learn how to make adjustments according to that. They've done a nice job making adjustments.
This will be Tyson Helton's first ever win against FAU, going deep. And unable to make the reception is Zaire Mitchell-Payton, the intended receiver. And Tyson Helton is 0-2 in his career against FAU. He's 0-4 in his career against FAU and Marshall. And he'll likely have a big one against Marshall next week. If Marshall wins today, that broadcast right after us, Marshall-Charlotte here on Stadium, then next week will determine the winner of the East Division. And he's 15-2 against the rest of Conference USA. As head coach of Western Kentucky, just hasn't beaten FAU or Marshall, and that will end today.
Well, and last season, right, the low-scoring game, couldn't get anything going on offense.
Can you imagine a 10-6 game between these two teams? This year it's 52-17.
10-6, 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Look out. And pressure coming from all sides. And applying that pressure, Mike Allen was the first one there. And it brings up 4th down with 2:21 to go. FAU's losing streak will extend to 3 games. They'll fall to 1-5 on the road. Up next, I'll be in Boca next weekend with Patrick Murray to call FAU and Middle Tennessee.
They're a different team in Boca. They play extremely well at home.
Tronti's pass is picked off. Christian Gomez on the interception. Christian Gomez, the transfer from FAU, who had spent parts of his last 4 seasons in Boca, picks off his former teammates.
How good must that feel?
He'd been all over the place. FAU, Coffeyville Community College, Arizona Western, and Army. And picks off his former teammates here.
And he's a junior.
His first career interception for the linebacker.
Just got back in that hook curl zone and showed some tremendous hands there.
Western Kentucky gets it back at the 20. Gain of 5 for Carruthers. Jamal Carruthers. Had gone to Navy, local kid, right here in Bowling Green.
An injured player for FAU as Jaden Wheeler comes off the field holding onto his left elbow.
You hate to see that. Typically a bicep or tricep injury. I mean, those guys are, you know, in the trenches are just pushing and pulling and reaching and grabbing. I mean, it's a wonder they don't get injured more often with the amount of physicality that they have to play with down in and down out.
With 90 seconds to go, Western Kentucky is going to let that clock wind all the way down as far as it can go. And this sets up what could be the showdown next week in Huntington. And you'll be there for it. Western Kentucky and Marshall. Again, if Marshall wins this afternoon, that game kicks right after us in Charlotte. If Marshall loses, Western Kentucky wins the East. If they win, comes down to next week's game. Whoever wins, Western Kentucky, Marshall. Also later today, big one out west. UTSA undefeated in conference at 6-0. UAB 5-1.
Solid defense from UAB. Dwayne McBride on the offensive side. And what can you say about UTSA with Sincere McCormick and Frank Harris? Athletic, long, rangy defense.
It's the 11th straight senior day victory for Western Kentucky, and Bailey Zappi had it going on.
He had it going on big time. 470 yards, 6 touchdowns. I tell you what, he controls the game about as well as anybody I've seen. Outstanding player.
Its longest winning streak since 2016. Tyson Helton ruins the reunion with Willie Taggart.